Hello ladies and gents, tremendous Indian success in the Reykjavik Open. That is what this video is going to be about. We are going to look back at some of the games that were played in the recently finished Reykjavik Open. As I already said, it was indeed a huge success for the Indian contingent. Praggnanandhaa won the tournament in style, in fact. Clear first, very impressive performance there, but also we need to mention that second was the very well-known Abhimanyu Mishra, the youngest grandmaster in the world, who although is playing now as an American citizen, but obviously he has got that Indian background as well. And equally importantly, we also need to mention that the ladies' title, or rather the ladies' first prize, was taken out by the legendary commentator Tania Sachdev. I will talk about her in a little bit, but let's kick off with the outright winner Praggnanandhaa and his amazing victory from round 7 or 8 against French Grandmaster Cornet. The opening is the Nimzo Indian, an opening that I discussed a lot on this channel. A very solid, awesome and versatile opening that I very highly recommend to anyone. And the E3 variation, the biggest main line. And here actually Praggnanandhaa, instead of playing the stock standard knight f3, plays a sideline with bishop d2. By the way, very typical of his style. He really likes to play slightly offbeat stuff to avoid theory and just allow his immense talent and imagination to come to the fore. And that's precisely what this game is going to bring to us. So I'm going to accelerate a little bit the events of the opening up to hereabouts, because this is where things get hairy out of nothing. Rook e8, a3. And here, I would say that the vast majority of players, about 2200 rated FIDE and above, would almost all consider bishop f8 to be the main move. But actually, this move is going to land the GM in a little bit of a trouble. And I perhaps would recommend here, or at least consider bishop d6, despite knight b5, because here both bishop a6 and c5 takes looks quite decent actually for black, mostly because the d2 bishop is rather passive and the black pieces are standing rather well. Anyhow, bishop f8 was played, and from here on out, Praggnanandhaa, or let's just call him Pragg as everyone seems to call him for short, just goes on a full-on attack. Like he goes the full Monty and chucks in the kitchen sink for this marvelous kingside attack. Knight g5, g6, and hello, as soon as you see g6, you phone Ginger GM and you go like, "Oi, Ginger, which one is your favorite pawn?" "Harry." In comes Harry. And Harry does the damage big time. Bishop g7, castles getting ready for a full-on onslaught with complete development. And after knight g4, knight takes h7, begins the fireworks. Absolutely insane complications are to be had here after knight takes f2, which would have been the French GM's only chance. But it's typically a move that you go like, well, surely my king is getting destroyed. I can't cherry pick pawns here. Amazingly, the idea is actually to take neither of the rooks, but to eliminate the most potent attacker, the d3 bishop. And for this reason, I will show you this line. h5, bishop, queen d6. And when we take on g6, black takes on d3 and on g6. And remarkably, actually holds with ease. As a matter of fact, after knight f2, h5 is... Why am I in struggle time? h5 is correct, but after queen d6, taking on g6 is certainly not correct, and the engine recommends instead the rather mysterious g4 move, which I don't even want to go into exploring what that does. Knight g5 appears to my human eyes to be far more natural, and in fact now the engine switches to this move when the pressure building up on f7 and g6 is still tremendous, and the invested exchange is no concern of ours whatsoever. Instead, Cornet went for king takes h7, allowing Harry to go further up on the pawn, creating further drama, wreaking havoc around the black king that now loses literally all its defenses. f6, and now Praggnanandhaa just casually starts building up his position with rook f1, disallowing knight f2, The engine prefers bishop f5, but in the resulting position, it's not quite clear how white immediately has a winning attack, where here Pragg just absolutely crashes through. He relocates the knight on f4, a very clever concept. It defends the pawn, it allows white to infiltrate via f5 and potentially, excuse me, e6 as well. It's just looking like $1 million, and from here on out, the Indian youngster is just playing super impressive chess, absolutely taking 0 prisoners. Even goes via g3, clearly aiming rather for those squares instead of the ones that are incorrectly highlighted. Rook h7, and now he's just signing up for the coup de grace with knight h5 or rook h1 and then knight h5. The rest is really just misery in this beautiful attack. Bishop f8, bishop takes f5, knight f6 back, and here he plays the very cruel bishop b4, and the end is near. c5 was played in the game, and after takes, bishop takes c5, it was essentially all over Red Rover. I think that was the point in the game where Cornet resigned. The reason behind the resignation is because even if the queen moves away in a way that it covers the f6 knight, knight takes f6, queen takes f6, and bishop d4 is going to mean then the end is very near, because now rook h8 mate means that the queen can't simply move away from f6. An absolute tornado-like attack that virtually came out of nowhere. I would like to point out this to you, that nothing indicated that white would have a major attack here on the king side at all. And then all of a sudden, after this lackluster bishop f8, it just out of nowhere, this initiative popped out. And I once again would like to point out to you that it's a very important feature in this position. And that's why I'm saying that it came out of nowhere. That black very often does stuff like take and puts a knight on e4. And that's totally playable. And it really does plug in this diagonal. And there is no hope for kingside attack at all. So typically the structure doesn't necessarily warrant an attack or an attacking mindset. But bishop f8 just signed up for it. And the reason, by the way, why this is tragically a move that is asking for trouble is because now after knight g5, h6, of course, it's mate in 2. A rather cool one. And so Cornet was forced into g6. And once Pragg called up Ginger GM for advice on what to do with Harry, it was all over Red Rover. By the way, ironically, actually, he didn't need to call up Ginger GM because he also played in the tournament. Kudos to Pragg. He played absolute rock-solid chess. Didn't even come close to losing any games. And took out the tournament 7 points out of 9. Impeccable performance. Now, on to Tania, who is a lovely lady. Every single time we do commentary together, she always compliments me on my very sharp tactical skills, but actually the opposite is true. It is her who has got some amazing tactics on the ready, as she demonstrates it in this game. I'm going to skip the opening reasonably quick here to get to the heart of the matter. Very nice attack here, developing with castles and f4. Tania is really doing the perfect moves here according to engine. And here something very curious happens that I really wanted to show you. After she drops back and creates this battery here, which obviously is designed to hassle the knight on f6, or rather it is going to work once we hassle the knight on f6 and then land a check on h7, a very unpleasant threat to live with as black. And here, after rook fc8, which as you can see gets a double question mark, here Tania missed an incredible win, and I can't blame her for missing it at all, because it's the most counterintuitive attack possible on the board, which goes like this. Fg, hg, that's logical, but e4 is the most counterintuitive move to a human to play here, because the idea is to keep the center firm and solid and play around it and do the attack whilst you can't get hurt in the center, or the center can't be exploded, which is typically exactly the medicine you want to have when you are being attacked on the wing. And here, amazingly, e4, that actually invites trouble in the center, still crashes through. Amazing stuff. Watch this. Takes d4, takes d5, takes c3, takes e6. And it turns out that now black has no moves left to boot, because after queen takes e6, we have got the absolutely insane rook takes f6, and after bishop takes, we are going to go in with check, check, and win the queen. Superb. And better still, if queen takes, then we are going to have this sensational checkmate Reno down here. Once again, I really don't blame any player for missing this. So that's totally fine. In fact, queen f2 gets a double question mark and white is still 1.5 plus. So, you know, if that's the worst blunder you make in the tournament, you are good. And now the attack comes back to Tania, and she now delivers in spades. e4, breaking the center like a champ, bringing the knight back, opening up the files, looking very promising. And here she gets a little bit of a help from the opponent, who takes this, allowing full centralization. This is just a marvelous looking attacking position, with the bishop also joining the fray. Knight d6, rook f8, and d5. This is just, this is how you play awesome attacking chess. Look at that, d5, forcing bishop takes, and then the knight can come to f5. Absolutely awesome chess. Knight f5, and now good luck defending the mate, and good luck defending the bishop. Note that queen g6 loses the queen to knight e7. Queen takes b2 was played, and here Tania finished off in a beautiful style by playing the marvelous rook e5, disconnecting queen and bishop, renewing the mate threat on g7. And yeah, superb, absolutely superb performance. The opponent resigned here. Mate in 3 in the latest is incoming. So yeah, sensational game. Tania did really well too, by the way, scored 9 out of 6, and so she took out the ladies prize. And that's gonna be my video recap video about the Reykjavik Open. And for those of you who really like my private lesson videos, I have got a good news coming for you. My next video is going to be a private lesson, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Please don't forget to comment, to like, to sub, to do the YouTube things that help me grow. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.